I'm back. I am back, and I've had my week away. It was a great time. As you can see, I kind of got involved in the local sort of hospitality and traditions, helping support local economies, which is I think, a great thing that we could all do when we're doing our little bit of travelling. These were not the only things that I purchased. I purchased quite a lot. A lot of it was actually ice cream, which was a bit surprising. Quite warm up there. I did also find I found a couple of football shirts on my journey, but one in particular that stood out, and it is this one here, right here. Now, if you look at the rear, you will see absolutely nothing. It is a red shirt. It may look a little bit different shade of colour on certain angles, but it is red. It can look a little bit pink, but it is red. And then we bring it around the front, hide those tags, and there we go. We have that shirt there. Now, the vibe that I got from this was Feyenoord's shirt. Don't know why I'm thinking like that, but it's definitely not Feyenoord, but that's the vibe that you could sort of trick yourself into think. And there we go. So it's a slightly different pattern. You've got a half and half, so you've got the red and then it splits into the white there. And you've got a sponsor on. Nothing else for anything specific apart from the crest. But who is this team? Well, let me go and dress the mannequin, as I usually do. And I'll happily explain to you who this is for. Okie dokie then, so there is the shirt covering up Che Guevara in the back there, and it's done a little bit of travelling with me around Scotland and back into England, and it is Orkney FC. So it is Orkney, the flag that I have bearing on this hoodie here, which I bought for actually a really good price of like £27.50 or something. Not too bad for any sort of hoodie there. And I also picked up this home shirt here. This is a home shirt from the season that's going to be beginning very, very shortly, 2023-2024. How time flies. And I bought this from a local sports shop in Kirkwall. So I was staying naturally in John O'Groats, which is the sort of the famed far top part of mainland UK. Though actually doesn't quite get to the top. I think it's Dunnet Hill or something. I went there also, which is technically the top, but John O'Groats is the famed one. And you had the journey to Land's End, which obviously is the most southern part of mainland UK. So we were literally on the coastline, and you can look straight across and you can see the Orkney Islands, which is a group of islands, about 70 or so, which have some very, very key and important parts of just general human world history on there. And we thought, well, why not give it a go? They had some constantly had ferries going across a couple of times a day, and you could travel as part of like a little tourist group. So you pay your ticket, you hop across on the ferry, which takes about 45 minutes. Luckily, we went on the one day that it seemed to be sunny in Orkney, and then you go on a coach and you just do a full day's worth of traveling around. Tour guide, you can spend some time on your own looking at whatever it is you're at specifically, and then you just come back. It was it's probably the best experience that I had on this particular holiday. And the main area of the Orkney Islands, specifically for people at the very least, is Kirkwall, which is sort of their capital area. They seem to think it was a city, though I don't necessarily think it is a city, even though they do have a cathedral. It was very nice, though, and we had about an hour or so to walk around, so you get some lunch. And we were just going into every shop, just picking up all sorts of knickknacks, including this hoodie. Found a sports shop, and right at the back, located right at the back, were these shirts. And I thought, oh my god, that's amazing. I didn't actually anticipate to find anything. I wasn't specifically looking for anything. And here we are. They had the home shirt, and they also had last season's away shirt. Maybe it's going to be this season's away shirt, because obviously some teams, they cross over and use them for many, many times. I went for this one just because this one, well, seemingly was newer and had a little bit more of a design, whereas the other one was just a little bit more plainer. Though I think the other one was slightly cheaper, maybe 30, 35, whereas this was £37.50. In Orkney, they had this interesting thing of putting everything something 50. Like, I understand like 99 pence, so you can bring it to the number below, but 50 pence, interesting. So I picked this one up. Great price for a brand new shirt. Now, the club was founded in 2012, so it's a relatively young sort of club. And when it comes to the sort of stadium they play at, it seems like they've had a number of them that they would call home over the years. Now, from what I can tell, they currently play at the Kirkwall Grammar High School sort of 3G pitch, so it's like a plastic AstroTurf pitch, which is not too surprising considering the conditions up there are usually rather wet now. So the grass could grow quite well, but it would definitely stay boggy for most of the time. And if I post an image right here, and you can see probably not necessarily the high school, but one of the grounds they used to play at, and in the background you can see these sort of rocks, which you think, oh, that's interesting. But they weren't naturally always there. They were only introduced there by Winston Churchill. They're called the Churchill Barriers, and they were sort of created and positioned due to sort of a German submarine sneaking in, destroying one of the Royal Navy's boats, and then sneaking back out again. So Winston Churchill says we need to improve obviously defences, and there were some people that died on there that were relatively young. He says we can't be having that, so they created 4 of these barriers, which hopefully, and I think successfully, blocked German advances at the north section of the country. Following that, they then became used as roads, so you could travel across certain islands and get there much more easier than having to go by boat or a plane. I think they have it's either the world's or Europe's shortest flight, which takes 2 minutes to go from one island to another. We didn't get to do that, but it made it easier to travel through on the coach there. Very interesting place. So this season they'll be playing in the North Caledonian Football League, which is on the 6th rung of Scottish football. So you're getting quite far down. It is an amateur level, and as you can tell by the conditions of the pitch, etc., it's understandable. I mean, the population of Orkneys is maybe, I can't remember specifically, was it about 30,000? It's not that many. Now, admittedly, there's probably places that have similar populations that have got great teams, etc., but they are rather spread out, so it can be a little bit more difficult to get to them. Now, last season they finished in 5th place, so it was a decent position there, and they have actually won that league once before in 2017, 2018, so relatively recently, so they're not a terrible team. The most successful team that played in that league is Clancuddin Reserves, who now play in the league above. So the shirts manufactured by Joma, they seem to get around, don't they? It seems like no matter where you stand in the world, there's usually a Joma shirt floating around. They're just so accessible. The shirts are simple enough, and the designs are actually not too bad. Like it's probably a simple template to follow, but it's okay. It does a job for a team that doesn't need to be going out there creating fanciful designs. It's red and white, half and half. It is red and white. You've got these sort of colours there of Orkney. Maybe I was expecting a little bit of blue and yellow, which I suppose makes sense because the away shirt's blue and yellow. So you've got the combination of all the colours there that Orkney offers. So there was an opportunity for me to buy another shirt, actually. It was Stromness, which is sort of the second most populated area of the islands, and that's where we went to go to, I think, head on after that to visit one of the oldest sort of buildings in Europe, which was an amazing sort of moment also. But we came across another sports shop, and they had a Stromness shirt, another Joma shirt, but this time it had no sponsor on the front, just had the club crest, and it was like £45, and I thought, I really cannot justify that. So I come away with just the one, which is one more than I expected. I have been speaking with John O'Groats FC about trying to pick up one of their shirts because they play football. It was just behind where I was staying. But unfortunately, their home shirts manufactured by Pendle don't have tags on. Away shirts manufactured by Umbro, I love it when teams just pick whoever they can, do have tags, but they didn't have a sponsor. However, going into the current season, they will have a sponsor. So at some point, maybe this year, you may see a John O'Groats FC shirt appear in my collection because I will buy it, and they said they will happily send it on to me. So there we go, that was it. There wasn't really much else when it came to football, to be honest. Obviously, you've got tourists from literally all over out there. We had people from Canada, America, Scandinavia, Germans, Dutch, and I'm sure plenty of other people that I obviously didn't overhear. We saw some football shirts, we saw LAFC, we saw Arsenal, obviously a lot of Scottish ones, mainly Celtic and Rangers. I'm trying to think, I'm sure there was one more that I saw that was an interesting one. But obviously that's just gone left my head. But there we go. So, it's been a while since I've been away, and to pick up a football shirt is great. I know that a lot of people watch these videos who go ahead on holidays, that they also try similar things. In fact, some people probably only collect football shirts in the places they visit. which I think is great. I understand it now, to be honest, because even though the shirt it's okay, it's fairly standard, it means a little bit more to me now that it's one that I actually was specifically located there. Shame that the season finished and I didn't get to go and watch a game. It would have been quite fun to watch effectively what is a very local game, but maybe in the future, who knows. So there we go, that's it. Let me know about shirts that you've picked up on your holidays yourself, and what is the most obscure one and what does it mean to you. So that's it, back to work. Oh, how wonderfully fun that is. Friday, I'm going to have an interesting video. I'm going to do something simple because I've only just got back. It was a hell of a long journey. So I'm a little bit sort of restricted for time. So I'm going to do something pretty simple, even though it's going to look quite actually arduous. And then we'll continue again following after that. So please have a great week continuated. And, what's that word? And then I'll see you on Friday. Thank you as always for watching my videos. And goodbye.